All right, so as we go through important dates, I just want you to have these in mind. So the official opening day of the market is going to be May 26th. Um, so this is our official market kickoff. We do have an event. If you're a food truck vendor, some of you all might already be scheduled for May 5th. May 5th is our street fair, and this is in celebration of Public Service Recognition Week. So this is a smaller event that we do that is part of Statehouse Market, but also a special event. So when we count down to our kickoff is technically going to be on May 26th. And we'll mark that as opening day, but we will have a street fair that's food trucks only next Thursday, which we are getting very excited about. The other thing we're going to celebrate this year is July 7th. And this is the Statehouse Market birthday. So that is the 10-year anniversary of the first time we ever hosted Statehouse Market. So that's going to be a celebration. We're going to have some extra sweets vendors, cakes, cupcakes, and pies. And we're just going to make that a fun celebration. September 8th is the State Employees Community Campaign kickoff. So we will have some separate events, and that will be a larger market. And then September 15th, the Indiana Commission on Hispanic and Latino Affairs is going to host an event in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. And then the last day is October 6th. Let's see. Okay, so when we come to the market, we're gonna plan to have everyone in place by 10:15. I am gonna ask that all of your stalls are mostly ready to go by 10:10. Food trucks, I definitely want you in place and parked by 10:10. So what we're gonna try to do is to make this as simple as possible, getting everybody in and organized. We're gonna see if we can get everybody that's selling produce or baked goods from a tent and a table to come before 9:30 a.m. That way you have time to unpack, your table set up, and then move your vehicle out of Robert D. Orr Plaza and move it over to New York Street for parking. That way we have space to get all of our trucks and trailers into that plaza by 9:30. And then we'll try to get trucks that have trailers attached in like right at 9:30 so that we can have you pull straight in to be along the sidewalk. And then trucks that don't have trailers attached, we'll have you maneuver in after the trailers are in place. That way we don't have any trailers trying to do returns in the plaza. We do ask also that you don't pack up or leave before 1:30 p.m. when the market closes, except for emergencies, and let me know when that happens. If you do find that you sell out, grab lunch from another vendor, hang out, mingle, and then just plan to be prepared for future market days if you're able to do that. Market fees, if you're doing daily fees, like for a food truck, or if you're a vendor, we just ask that you take care of those before 10:30 when the market opens. So I'll start coming around at 10:30, making sure everybody's squared away. And you can pay in advance. I'll mark that down. That's no big deal, but we do want to make sure that that's all taken care of before people start selling. That way we don't get too chaotic. If you need a restroom at the market, restrooms are going to be in Government Center North. You can get through those, but you will have to go through security. So just note that you don't want to be carrying any kind of weapons. You don't want to have, you'll have to go through like regular airport security. And then restrooms are on the west side of the building. General guidelines for food safety. I know all of you probably know this, but I do want to put this out here and then a quick caveat. Indiana State Department of Health and Marion County Public Health Department will be at the market each week, and we're in pretty close contact. If I've reached out to you about any kind of permitting, just make sure you have everything squared away before you come to the market. Sam Hensel is with the Marion County Public Health Department. She'll be there doing inspections on all the mobile units. So anyone that's in a truck or trailer. And then Sharon Patsy from the state will be there for everybody that's a home-based vendor or selling at a table as a produce vendor. The rest of this food safety stuff, I know y'all know, just make sure that you don't keep anything that's being consumed by a person on the ground. So we want to say a minimum of 6 inches off the ground. And then everyone, truck, trailer, vendor, is going to need to have hand sanitizer as a hand washing station at your stall. Insurance, we're squared away on everyone, but the note here is the biggest number of claims for anything that happens in the market is usually damage because of market property. So you want to make sure any signs you have are properly secured. And then if you do bring a tent, it needs to be properly weighted. You won't be able to stake it down. So make sure that you do have tent weights, or even if it comes down to filling jugs with water, make sure that your tent is appropriately weighted so it doesn't go blowing in the wind. On your insurance, If you have the Statehouse market listed as a certificate holder, that's great. We'll just get notified when your policy gets renewed. If we're listed as an additional insured, you don't need to worry about doing that. Technically, as the state, we cannot be insured. So if you're paying fees right now because you have us listed as an additional insured, go ahead and like take that off for future policies. We don't need to be insured on your policy. We just want to make sure that it's active. The other note on this is some of the policies that we saw, like as the applications came in, were set to expire in the next month or somewhere in the middle of the season. So I have all this noted in my calendar. I'll just send you a reminder when that policy is set to expire so that we can make sure that we get updated coverage and like updated policies for the rest of the season. Produce vendors, you all know this already, but any kind of produce, fruits and vegetables that you sell, those need to be whole, raw, uncut. And then for the purpose of this market, we're calling a produce vendor anyone that's selling out of a tent. So this could also be like meat, honey, eggs. Eggs just need to be certified through the egg board. And then any other products, you need to make sure you're following state guidelines. And then if you're selling out of a tent, Sharon from the State Department of Health will come and make sure that you're going through all of that. We do just want to note though that our ladies of the health department, they love you guys and they're here to make sure that everything's done safely, but they're not afraid to play the bad cop. And so if we do find issues with permits, like just expect that we're going to chat with you about it, and we're not going to be able to allow you to keep selling at the market if like your licensure isn't up to date with the state or with the county. Home-based vendors are allowed at Statehouse Market. There were some questions about that. So we just need to make sure that all potentially hazardous foods are limited according to state policy. And there's more links and information on this here. The other thing is it does need to be properly labeled, and there are instructions here in these links. So I will send you out these slides, and then if you need more information, you can follow those. Food trucks, all of you are, but you do need to be registered with the state as a temporary retail food establishment. What that does is basically gives the state direct contact information with you, so that in the case of foodborne illness, they can do trace back and reach back out to you. And it's a free form, it's one page. And if you've filled this out already, you know, but you do need to have that filed with the state. So if by chance you sent me a copy and did not send it to the state, make sure you get that mailed to the state or emailed to Sharon. And her email's on the third slide, I believe. Let me know 48 hours in advance if you won't be able to attend on a date that you're scheduled. If you are to cancel like day of or day before, it's going to be like an issue basically, but we will have a list of substitutes. Just let me know 48 hours in advance if you can't come. If you don't let me know that you're not coming and you don't show up, we're going to call it a no call, no show. And if this happens repeatedly, again, we're going to have to unfortunately remove you from future market dates. That way we know that like our vendors will be there when they're committed to come. And then should something come up, we're going to be super flexible, but just let me know in advance so that we can plan to get somebody else in. If you are willing to sub, go ahead and just drop a comment in the chat and I'll get your name written down. So a substitute is going to be somebody that if we get a cancellation day of or day before, I'm calling like, hey, we got an open spot, you want to come join? And then we can get you another space in the market. So it's beneficial both ways. But if you are able to operate on a little more of a short notice, let me know and I'll keep you on our sub list and let you know as cancellations happen. The wait list is going to be a little different than the sub list. The wait list is vendors who have applied after the application deadline. So we do have a couple of them already waiting. But what we'll do is as people cancel in advance, so we know more than 48 hours in advance, we'll give those opportunities to people on the wait list that don't have any market dates scheduled throughout the season yet. So as cancellations come up, like 2 months from now, I'll give these to people that are on our wait list. And then the last minute cancellations we'll give to you guys that are set as subs. So again, just let me know if you're willing to sub and I will put you on our backup list, see if we can get you some more markets. Healthy food options. So part of our mission is to bring healthy food options to downtown Indy and to state employees that are here on the government center campus. So we really want to focus on locally grown, locally sourced, and healthy food options. So we worked with the State Department of Health and with a couple food scientists to like put together criteria for what a healthy food option is. That's why we did ask you on your application what healthy food options are. So what we want to do is really make this a focus. So we've created a flyer that we'll have laminated. Basically what we're going to ask is that each week you have like a feature item that is your healthy food option, and it'll be laminated so you can just take an expo marker and write in there what your healthy option is. And then we do ask that you tell people about it, tell the story behind it, and make sure that's one that you're recommending, because that's really why we're here and why we're doing this. Also, don't be shy. A lot of you have Indiana grown items or locally sourced, locally made items. Make sure you tell your story, because people love to support people that they know are doing good work. So talk it up, brag on what you're doing. That's the kind of community that we really want to build here. So emergency preparedness. In case of emergency, we will be able to take shelter inside the government center buildings. If there is a storm coming, if we're talking light rain or rain, we will keep going with the market. But if there's a forecast that shows, rough weather during that day, we will cancel and let you guys know. But if it's just a sprinkle, we'll keep going with the market. If there is any kind of bodily injury, if somebody gets cut, hurt, let me know, and we'll make sure that we have a first aid kit available.
Hello, Las Tortugas.
The last thing that we'll talk about is rescue.
Oh, I just sent an email response to. Yeah, I went to my. Yeah, I went to my.
I'm making sure you muted.
But luckily, I was checking it right now.
All right. Go ahead and if you have a famous recipe, thank you, that you want to share, send them to me by email, or you can bring them in paper and we'll put together.
Yeah, basically,
season.
For
also we can feature them
event right now,
events that market social media. So if it's something that you really want to share, shout us out, and then we'll shout you out with that recipe on our socials.
Leave our regular spot.
That is everything that I wanted to chat through as well. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and
that means we head
open up the floor for discussion.
Or more. And if we don't meet that minimum, we would request that the host pays the difference. It's a typical thing with food trucks. For us, it's a little bit more expensive because, like I said, we've been having just a crazy demand for May. But for other food trucks, it may be 750 instead. I know one truck that does that.
All right, thanks, Ashley. I will get you guys on the list. All right, I will send out this presentation. If y'all don't have any questions, let's see. All right, thanks, 2 days. I will get you guys on the sub list.
Yeah, I tried to help out.
I'll hang on here for a few seconds.
A bit more information, just because it really does help with other people to kind of plan for the future. If it is something that you might be able to, I know it might not just be you pulling on this event, it might be a whole team, and just kind of
wherever that is, can you mute your phone?
You're welcome. Bye. Hey guys, sorry.
Hey Luis, I don't know if you were talking here to this chat, but I didn't hear the rest of what you were saying there.
Oh no, I had a phone call from somewhere else. Sorry.
Okay, solid. All right, so the state email address, Blackleaf, you asked about that one. Do you want my email address with the state, or are you looking for another contact?
Your email address that you had submitted earlier, you said was on slide 3. If you can send that to me directly, I'd be greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thanks.
I'm dropping it right here in the chat now. So if you need to email me, this is the best one.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll also give you guys, when I send out these slides, I'll give you a cell phone number that I will use on market days. So should anything happen or if you need to reach out to me on those days, I will have like a cell phone. So I'll give that to you in this email afterwards. But as well, if you need anything during the week, feel free to call my desk phone, and that's also on all of the emails that I sent y'all.